Hey, welcome everybody. We're set up for part two of the Wayward Shepherdess tonight. This may turn into a little bit of a mini campaign here. We were discussing pre on-air recording. So then I kick it over to Oscar, let him take it away. He'll give us a recap, and we'll figure out what we're going to do today.
Okay, in part one of the Wayward Shepherdess are our heroes: a much older finder, a in his prime centurion, and a retired gladiator turned bodyguard. Were enjoying some time off in Rome when they were contacted by a patron of theirs, the old man, General Cornelius Nausicaa, who one of his clients had brought in something strange and was requesting an investigation. When our heroes examined what was brought in, they found it was a severely deformed child, and his deformities could only be described as that of a cider. It looked like a young newborn satyr, fawn, however you want to call it. So they decided, well, this village definitely needs to be investigated. They were told that this was born to a shepherdess who had gone missing and had come back inexplicably pregnant. She never pointed who the father was, even though some people came forward offering to marry her. She died in childbirth, and they were told that the child was born stillborn. But through their examination of the body, they learned that it was likely drowned after birth. They had the body cremated, brought up with them to Raetia, which is modern-day Switzerland. It rained the entire trip up there, so it was a miserable trip. They get there, everybody's really happy that they're here because they're afraid the village is cursed. They speak to the midwives who were present, and the older midwife was very good at keeping her mouth shut, and they kind of sensed weakness in the younger midwife, who was good friends with the deceased woman. When they got her alone, they were easily able to get information out of her, learning that the young shepherdess, as she was dying, begged for the life of her child. And did not, and died. And then when the baby was born, she confirmed that yes, it was born alive, and yes, on the orders of their patron, they did in fact drown it. While searching the domicile of the shepherdess, who had given up being a shepherdess and was learning cheese making, they found two very strange items of jewelry. I believe a tiara and a bracer. And it was of a strange metal that they couldn't identify. It was very artistic, and it had lettering that they only identified through their knowledge of the mythos, and that lettering was Hyperborean. At that point, they decided, though she also had a lot of magical charms that she probably couldn't have afforded in her hut, that someone was trying to protect her from evil. So they found out that it was provided by the local magus, the local practitioner of magic. They visit him, and they have he brings them in and has a nice long chat about ancient legends in the area, and they learn that this is not the first time a strange cider child was born to the village, that it apparently happened several hundred years ago to a red-headed shepherdess who had similarly claimed to have been ravaged by a wild man while in the mountains with her flocks. She left the village before the baby was born, but years later, people would spot a red-headed satyr playing songs of the village, like folk songs of the village, on his pipes. The Magus said that he never warned anyone to stay off the mountain because people pretty much stayed off the mountain anyway, and if he warned them it was dangerous, he thought some jackass would go check it out just because. But he knew that the northern mountains, that there were things out there that you shouldn't go poking at. He claimed that there was a hidden valley where it was always springtime. That was a very dangerous place, hidden in the mountains north of the town. Again, he didn't tell anybody else because he thought they'd go looking for it. When they asked him if they thought the village was cursed or if there were any other threats, he was pretty sure that now with the baby dead and it probably wasn't going to happen. And as long as people just stayed out of the area, it would all probably blow over. Whereupon a group of beast hunters showed up in village with nets and a cage on a cart and some spearmen, and they were the talk of the town. So apparently there are some high-profile hunters in town. They also learned that the messenger was kind of a gossip and may have spread the story of the cider baby all the way from Switzerland to Rome.
Yeah, great.
And that's where we left off. Did I miss anything important, team?
I think that sums it up.
I have a couple of artifacts that we did not show to the weird man.
Yeah, the circlet and the was it a ring?
He has a name, you know. What is his name?
Matthias.
Matthias, yes. I didn't remember. So I'm like, he has a name, you know. I'm like, what is
well
his
played.
name?
Well played.
I took notes.
I do have it written down.
So I think as we ended and saw the beast cage and all the other stuff, Lucius would turn to the other two, assuming no one was right around, and be like, this presents a wrinkle that we don't need. I thought maybe if we went up, it would be possible perhaps to speak to the redheaded satyr if he's involved. Maybe his mother taught him obviously some of his history. If he played tunes from the village, he may be amenable to either closing the gate or at least instructing maybe his fellows to not venture as far as the village. But this is just going to stir up a nest of asps, as it were.
These messenger guys, they got big mouths. Got to learn how to close them.
Yeah, well, we might be able to help him with that.
Close the gate of his face.
The other thing dawned on me as we were speaking with Matthias that he apparently is like 300 years old.
Yes, well, it's hard to say. It's I know someone like that in his position selling wares such as he does. On one hand, it's good advertisement, good kind of reputation to spread rumors, myths around himself. On the other hand, I think you and I both know he could be telling the truth.
Indeed.
Could be that good mountaineer.
We don't know if he's a Dread Pirate Roberts or the Dread Pirate.
Right.
But you know that it could go either way in this game.
It's not inconceivable.
Yeah.
All we got is his word that he's that old. And
yes, and so I think he has motivation to not be telling you the truth, but I think we keep our minds open to the possibility.
Do you think
it better than I do?
Yeah, well, we tend to fumble along in the dark a little bit more than we actually have a serious plan.
Well, there's just so much darkness.
Do you think it would be wise to show Matthias the relics or artifacts that we found? Do you think that he may be, if indeed he is 300 years old, he may be familiar with the script, he may be able to translate it or tell us at least what they are?
Indeed, I believe only one has script. That right? One of them actually has lettering. The other one is filigree decoration. Okay. It seems. Yes. Well, it would serve a couple of purposes. One is that we will then have more evidence on which to build a case for him being 400 years old if he's turns out to be accurate.
Sounds like a good plan to me, boss.
If he does turn out to be as old as he claims, does this present a secondary problem for us to have to eradicate?
Oh, goodness. Well, I don't think that... I don't know what your experience is. We really haven't chatted that much about specific things that we've seen, but I don't think that just because he may be older than seems possible that he would be on the wrong side of the War of Shadows.
Okay, I will defer to your judgment, to the wisdom of your years.
Well, apparently I have not as many as I could have.
That is true. That is true.
On the other hand, get some lessons from this guy. Let's see what happens.
Yes, I agree. Yes, I think we should. Should we go together, or should I go alone and have you outside? What do you think?
You ain't talking to a wizard without me there, boss.
All right.
I think Tertius is correct in that. If his intentions are less than pure, I fear he may overpower you and take the artifacts.
Fair enough. Do we all want to go, or would you like to stand outside and make sure there aren't any hunters about, for example? Or maybe you could ask questions. Your experience is valuable here, and it's not the same as my own.
I feel like this falls under more of your expertise than mine. I could head into town, wander about town, and see if the hunters have, disseminated any information about where they may be. Although I feel like we already know that. Find out where their lodgings are. Just try to turn up any information that I can find.
I do think that if of all of us, you would be the right person to speak with the hunters.
I gotta say, though, from my experience in the arena, these guys who collect animals for the matches, stone cold crazy.
Okay.
Be careful around them.
Well, maybe you should go too, and I should take a nap when we do that. But please, let's go now and ask about these artifacts.
Sounds good,
Okay,
boss.
so you all go back into Matthias. I mean, literally, you were walking out, had a conversation in the street, and then came right back in. And he said, "Something else, young man."
Well, pulling a Columbo. Just one more thing. I wondered if you might shed some light on a couple of items that we've discovered. I'll just go ahead and show them.
Oh. Please come in and close the door. And he draws the shutters on his domicile.
Mm-hmm.
And the one slave he owns that is working in the kitchen, he says, I think that we'd like some flowers with dinner. Why don't you go spend the rest of the afternoon gathering them? And the young slave girl is like, oh, thank you, master. I'll she goes out and he says, so what have we here? And he looks over and he says, these are from the ancient empire.
The ancient empire you spoke of before.
Yes, these things used to turn up a lot more. Luckily, they don't turn up that often now.
You've not seen them before.
Oh, I know. I've seen them. Not these in particular. No.
Ah.
I've seen similar things. They. You haven't put them on, have you?
No, not at all.
It could be dangerous. These things, they carry powerful enchantments quite often.
I see. And there's some kind of writing here. Do you see it? These runes?
I do. I think that it would be best if perhaps you'd left these with me.
Oh, goodness. Why do you say that? I'm going to immediately body language read him with my insight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make an insight roll as well.
Indeed.
Oh, 0-0.
Oh, come on, Chad.
Let me just show
Oh,
you.
94.
Okay.
Oh my God.
The two of you guys are staring at him, and you guys can't read him, but the bodyguard gets the message. He's looking at you like a toddler who just found out the magical power of a switchblade.
Yeah.
His intention is this could be dangerous, and they probably don't know what they're doing.
Guys, wizard here is serious.
He says that can be dangerous, and I would be very cautious carrying them around.
What is? Why do you say that? Does it draw attention, or from those who might have affinity with them, or is it the properties of wearing them? That
Make a luck roll. And I know that's hard for you, but you're the one who has to.
Oh, funny. That's funny. That is a 36. I am sure that's a failure. Yep.
He says that they sometimes can be homed in on by the owner. It's not unheard of. He says, but this one in particular, he says this is a ceremonial item, which means that it's likely part of a temple's treasury.
I see. And do you believe
the gods of the ancient kingdom were not our gods? These were the ancient gods, the dark gods, the old gods.
And this is of their. These items are derived from their power.
The temple where this one came from is the temple of an old god. Actually,
Yes.
and he looks a little closer. Goddess.
Is this? Do you believe this temple to be somewhere in the area?
I've never heard tell of a temple of the ancient kingdom in the area, but then again, there hasn't been an encounter with the Siders in 300 years. Well, until this year. If she had them in if she had them in her possession, why? How? She obviously got somewhere and came back with them. It's a pity we can't speak with her.
Are these mere baubles, or do they have properties that we should be aware of?
There's no way of telling. Well, there is a way of telling.
Yes. No, thank you.
But I'm not going to try them on.
And these runes don't tell us anything about what might happen.
No. my knowledge of the language of the ancient kingdom is dim at best. Perhaps there are mighty scholars who could decipher these much better than I.
Scholars in the area? Anyone you know?
Oh no, I would say Alexandria, Athens,
Yes.
Antioch. The places east.
Yes.
Okay. Know a smattering of the ancient language.
But you say there's a goddess. Could you tell us the name of this goddess?
He appears very uneasy.
So do I.
I dare not speak her name. And you would do well not to ask.
Fair enough.
Are there any tales that...
No, nobody's going to make a persuade check? Sheesh. Guys, give it up so easy. I'm giving you opportunities to check some boxes, guys.
So if somebody wants to do that, but so then he would Lucius would just break in and say, are there any tales of the satyrs, in legion with these ancient gods, these dark gods?
They're usually found near her old temples. What connection there could be, I do not know. But I fear that there is one.
This goddess, is she associated with the earth and the spaces underneath it at all? Because remember, guys, when that messenger brought us the story, told us a girl took refuge in a cave during the storm.
No, she is not a goddess. She is not Gaia. She is not the goddess of the earth. Not this earth, anyway. Not any earth. How can I put this? All that we are, all that we see, all that is tangible, all that is real around us, that is the in, that is within this sphere of reality. This goddess is from without.
I fear we will not be able to proceed if you cannot provide us with more information as to who this is. We delve into dark matters, and to go forewarned would be to be forearmed. Persuade?
Persuade? That is a persuasive argument. You're putting your doom on him.
Oh, 15. All right, let's see. Oh, shit, I rolled a 19. Damn it.
Come on, spend some luck.
It does seem like there's some luck points.
Yeah, I'll spend
all right. He says, I tell you this at your own peril, and I am not responsible for what happens by giving you this knowledge. Do you understand?
We do.
Yeah, sure.
This goddess is still widely worshipped in the Empire. She's been worshipped by many names. Many who claim to worship the Magna Mater also worship her. She is the goddess of life and death and birth and unmaking, of creation and destruction, of decay and growth. She is the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. She is powerful in Germania, and in the what's the region? Bill, what's our region?
Do you want to say Caledonia? Do you want to?
No, well, he says that she's worshipped in many places of the empire to this day. And he says that, her name is Shub-Niggurath.
Does this ring a bell? Can we sort of
You'd have to roll
like
Cthulhu Mythos.
Oh, Cthulhu Mythos? What the hell?
I'm doing it.
Nope, not even close.
Nope, not even close.
Okay. So you guys have never heard of this dark and dangerous goddess of the outside.
So Lucius just turns a quizzical eye to Salvius. This name does not sound familiar to me. To you?
No, I give a little shake of my head. No, I'm afraid not.
He says, and I will tell you something else. Something possibly positive about these items. In return for your promise that I share in the outcome.
The outcome might not be very well for us. You must know this.
Well, you don't know what I'm about to say now, do you?
He just he waves his hand in front of him. Like, proceed.
He says, there are men in the Empire who would pay tens of thousands of sesterces for these items. That shepherdess had a king's ransom in her hovel. I don't know if she knew their value, but she could have lived like an empress. Well, for a few years anyway.
Oh boy. But you
He says,
understand.
I can give you some names, and I would only require 10% of the net profit of the sale.
We have never intended to sell them, I'm afraid.
Then you could give them to me. And he laughs. And he says, look, if you're not going to sell them, please, well, just take caution if you try and use them. There's no way of telling
insight that whole spiel of his. 48 success.
He's actually not lying. He would love for you guys to sell him and cut him in for 10. He's nervous about
trust level about 40 points.
Yeah.
If these things, speaking out of character, if these things are so dangerous.
Yeah, why would you agree to have them sold to some strange names? Oh, you know what though? Bookmark. Let's talk later. Well, you have my bond that as long as these are in my possession, if I were to sell them on some market, that you would absolutely get 10%, and I would fight life and limb to get back to you and give you this money. But that is not the intention.
Understood. And he says, you seem like good boys. I'm not sure where your path will lead, but I fear for this village and the people in it. I believe that one shepherdess has kicked open a hornet's nest.
We would like to seal the nest of hornets, if possible. Is there any way that you know that this door could be closed should we find it?
No, I've never seen it. I know nothing about it. If you were to just find it and describe it to me, I might have some idea. I can consult with some of my brethren, send out a few letters to see if anyone within a few days' ride that I am aware of may know some charm or ritual to close a passageway. So, with your permission, I will send those off.
Yes, yeah, it sounds good to me, but I wonder if you have concern as I do that the word of this is spreading and that we see strangers in the village. There is a saying in my work that the number of people who know a secret the chance for it to escape is the square of the number of people who know it. And
Well, I think that is that's a done deal. It's already been far too widely shared.
indeed.
Do you know Sempronius? He was the messenger that was sent. Does he seem like he would be a trustworthy man?
Are any men truly trustworthy?
Well,
He's got a point
am.
there.
Your point is well taken.
He says everyone is trustworthy until they aren't.
You put a man's back against the wall, you see what he's made of.
Or you dangle enough gold in front of him. I'm thinking it's the latter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I could give you a piece of advice, if you wish to close a door, the longer it's open, the more people can pass through it.
Yes.
Well, it seems as if we have our work cut out for us then.
Yes, indeed. A path clears before us.
If we can describe the gate, assuming that we can find it, could you possibly create a ward or a charm that we could place over it?
Until you describe it, I couldn't give you an answer to that. It may be something I'm familiar with. It most likely is not. I'm just a simple hedge wizard.
Oh, sure.
Now, Lucius cracks a grin. Okay, well, I felt like I should ask.
All right. Anything else for him?
I don't think
No.
so. We could ask him about his age, but I don't think. I think maybe plausible deniability is better at this point.
Mm-hmm. As they're walking out, he like crisply turns on his heel and he says, "What of Costa? What do you have to say about the man?"
Costa means well. He's better than most.
Just ruler in his lands?
I would say just and generous.
A rare combination indeed.
Even-handed with those in his charge. I've seen much crueler men. I've seen braver ones.
That is no surprise. Okay.
Yeah.
We appreciate your help.
All right,
Yes, thank you.
and I appreciate yours. Best of luck to you three.
Thanks.
And to you. I believe we'll be maybe speaking again
Hmm.
once we find out more. And we leave.
Okay. To go where?
I think the next step is for Lucius and I to go take a look at those beast hunters.
They are no longer in the village.
Yeah, I
Oh,
assume
boy.
they were gone. Lucius would stroll up to their wagon or cart or whatever they have to see if there's any sort of like stamp or branding. You know, if these guys have like, you know, anytime they come through town, it's like, hey, we're the, you know, whatever crew come to secure, you know, whatever it is that they can find. Like there's some sort of, you know, like branding on their thing.
No, actually, they don't have like a company name or brand, or they're not like a mercenary company. You're sure that they are like a private, like a private group, but they're not advertising who they are.
Okay. That, I guess that probably kind of makes sense. Should we head to the inn to see if these hunters have checked in? Maybe we can glean some information there, maybe who they are.
Worth a try.
Yeah. Yeah, we might as well find out what they know so that possibly we could contain it and sort out.
And you guys are hungry. It's lunchtime, so you could definitely do with some bread and cheese or maybe a bowl of soup. Grab a light lunch. So you go to the inn and you find out that they have they've left the wagon with the cage here and some of their porters.
Oh.
And while you're getting lunch, you make some small talk, and you find out that yes, they are actually from Rome. They've come here to do some hunting for some animals. Hold on one second.
Came up here looking for bears, huh? I always heard that Raetian bears are the biggest. Put on a
I'm
good
actually
show.
looking up animals in the Alps.
See, I was going to ask, but I thought that's what you were looking for.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up. What animals there are in the Alps? All right. Well, they're not hunting marmosets.
I would assume
bears
like
in the Alps.
I would assume probably bears like elk and stuff like that. Probably wolves.
Wolves, yeah.
Yeah, they are. There are bears in this. Well, there haven't been since 1904, but they're in this time. There are bears. They said yes, they were hunting bears, but most people in the bar thought that they weren't hunting bears because they snickered when they said it.
I roll up my sleeve.
If they're hunting bears, I'm the king of the Jews.
Did they leave? Did they say who they were?
No, they just said that they were hunters from Rome.
Okay.
Do you often get hunters from Rome?
Never. It's never happened. He goes, the barmaid, the woman serving you said, I've been serving food and drink in this tavern for 15 years and it's never happened.
Not particularly good hunting grounds.
No, it's all pasture land.
Yeah.
Our dogs keep the wolves at bay. So we don't even have wolves, let alone bears in the area. Hi, Atticus.
Yeah, he decided to wake up and pay his regards. Not.
Yeah, shit. I mean, we know we know what's happening. So
Sure.
Yeah, and they're playing things close to the vest, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I think the move is to get our guide to take us up there so we can spot the place.
Are any of the porters hanging out in this tavern, or are they out guarding the wagon?
They're out guarding the wagon. They've got a tent set up. They didn't pay for a room for them to stay.
I mean, if you guys want, we could go out and have a few words with the porters.
Whoa.
The porters are just like the guys who carry their crap.
Well,
the roadie.
Yeah, maybe they could tell us whose crap they're carrying.
I agree with that, but easy with the fists there. Your methods, I'm not so sure about. Maybe we use words first.
I agree. I agree with both of you in kind. If we go out and talk to the porters, we put ourselves on their radar when the hunters come back. Is the only thing that I worry about. They may or may not know we are here or who we are. If we make our presence known, it may complicate things when we return.
It's a pickles.
All right, everyone else grab your cats.
Well, mine just
No.
left.
They'll wander by sooner or later.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So you're saying don't make too much of a fuss. I don't mind the idea. Well, maybe
I just raised the question.
yeah. I'm sorry, Bill. Can I get what you like your character to be called?
Iavolenus.
Iavolenus. Okay.
We're sitting on my character sheet.
Okay. Perhaps Iavolenus could have a word. It seems maybe just have rather than all of us approaching them.
Yes, as a former gladiator, you would have at least nominal thing in common. I mean, I'm sure, fought wild animals, and they procure wild animals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can give him the chit chat.
Sounds good.
Okay, so why don't you go over?
Hey.
And yes.
We'll head
And
back to
first-
this.
First off, what I want you to do is roll your infamy.
All right, give me 1 second while I move the cat off my character sheet. Come on. All right. Roll my infamy. 4.
Nice.
Nice and hot tonight.
They actually have heard of you.
I'm like showing them
And,
the scars I got from fighting bears.
Basically, they don't. It's like they remember you as a retired gladiator, and they're like, "Oh, you haven't been in the ring, and what are you doing now?"
I took a cushy job, watching a grain collector's back, Food on the table without getting a bear claw to the head again. That would,
Well, it's good to hear that you're doing well. A lot of us thought you'd be dead by now.
yeah, me too. So, whose car? Anybody whose menagerie I might have fought?
Yes, they say that. Well, we're not allowed to really discuss, but this one comes from pretty high up. So you need to make a roll.
Infamous again, or persuade?
Yeah.
Persuade?
Yeah, persuade to do it.
Okay. No, and I am not spending. I don't have enough luck to spend to make that a success. So I do not get the information.
Right. Their reluctance to tell you speaks a lot about who they might be working for.
Insight roll to
Go ahead.
holy crap. 6. So yeah, that's a critical success.
They've probably been told to keep a low profile. And they've, usually that happens if there's something rare in the area that they don't want other beast hunters to come and snatch from them.
Right.
Like in your experience, there was a like all black wolves are really rare, and they're a huge hit in the arena. So whenever an all black wolf is spotted, there's usually more than one group of beast hunters trying to trap it alive.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's usually more than one nobleman who's trying to bag it for his own collection. So you'll have a group of people trying to kill it and a group of people trying to capture it.
Right.
And they don't really want the other people. They don't want their competition to know where they are or what they're doing.
Okay. Well, I can respect they've been told to keep a close lid on it. So I'm thinking someone, very high up, probably, especially given that, as much as I'm playing dumb, I know that these guys are here for the satyr.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna kind of let it pass and continue to make some small talk. And
Okay. You can make enough small talk so it doesn't seem awkward when you leave.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, a couple minutes of small talk, and then I'll reconvene with my compatriots.
Great. Well,
All right, well, he's outside.
yes. Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
So, as Lucius is, pulling on his ale, he says, so, you've discussed things with Iavolenus. Is he going to be a stout companion in the days ahead? This is, as strong as he may be, this is a delicate business at best.
It's very delicate, and we have taken a risk in divulging so much. I didn't get into a lot of details, but enough about the Shadow War to initiate him, and I think we are testing him now, and it's worth watching how he handles this information. He seems to me more committed. His seems to be leaning into it, but I hope that he doesn't find his psyche shattered by the end of this.
No.
Okay. So, what's the next step?
I let these two know, I don't have a name for the beast hunters, but I was able to find out that someone very high up in Roman society hired them to find the satyr and to keep a very low profile about it.
I see. Well, so we know that there's been a concentration of interest from power, which is not surprising.
Do you guys believe that we should confront Costa about what we have already found, or should we let that lie for now?
Let's keep it close to our vests for now.
I must agree. I think that showing all of our cards now is maybe not such a good idea. He seems maybe trustworthy, but we also know that he's kept secrets from us. I'm not sure that we want to spread any more information about what we're going to do.
Right.
Keep it contained.
Okay.
Do you have reason to believe that we should?
I asked the question. The matter of Sempronius concerns me somewhat. I don't know if Costa trusts the man or not. If he has overstepped in bringing these hunters here, I believe he said he wanted to sell the infant. So maybe he may be looking at ways of compensating himself beyond Costa's knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that it's out of the bag now as far as what's known and what's public. I'm not sure that we can contain that unless we get very, very insistent.
Very hands-on, you mean?
Indeed.
I fear that may not be worthwhile. If it is spread as widely as you believe, I think that it's like pissing into the ocean.
Yes. Perhaps what we should do is dress Iavolenus in satyr costume and have a ruckus at night and rouse everyone from the town, catch him, reveal that he's a hoax, and perhaps we can put those rumors to rest. What do you think?
One, that's a great way for me to get a javelin in the belly.
Yes.
And two, people around town have already seen me with you guys.
You are smarter than I initially expected, and I was really just joking. No, not a good idea. All right, so shall we find our guide and make arrangements?
I think so.
Yes, I
Okay.
believe we've done all we can.
Okay, when you go back to your friend, the shepherdess, which I did not write down her name, so I'm hoping one of you did.
Yes, well, Non
Nan.
is the child, yeah.
Right, Nan. It is now late afternoon, and to get out to the pasture and the area where the shepherdess said, it would be long after dark. So you'd have to go out there and then camp. And she does not seem very willing to do that, because
Understandable.
there are monster McRapies out there, and she goes, and there are wolves in the mountains at night. People bring their flocks in the town at night, and not always. Sometimes they will stay out overnight with their flocks with a sheepdog, but there are wolves.
Yeah, we know of at least one case where that went very, very badly.
Yeah.
All right, she says that if you insist, I would need to be compensated for taking that kind of risk, but I'd be more than happy to walk you out there in the morning.
What do you guys think? I mean, we comprehend the danger sufficiently, I believe, for now.
Well,
I mean, between Iavolenus and I'm sure that we can protect our small camp from anything that may intrude.
Yeah, I'd say so.
As long as it's of this world.
Nan goes, what?
I mean, I think the only reason, haste may be worthwhile only because of the speed at which things are spreading and how many people know about it. But I'm not sure that outweighs the danger, nor the risk of bringing this young woman into it and increasing her risk. I think we should wait.
Yeah. And maybe we'll get lucky and the wolves will take care of some of the beast hunters.
Yes.
Could we be so lucky?
Roll of luck. Probably not.
Bill, you've got more than anybody.
If anybody makes an extreme success on their luck roll.
Hey, wait. wait. Well, it's not extreme. Wait, and I got an ought to. I wish I could. Can I do the? Can you see that?
I failed by 50 points.
Oh,
Whenever I see the camera suddenly go low, I always get nervous.
Oh, sorry. It was for dice.
We're just seeing dice, right, Chad?
You see the dice?
Keeping our relationship professional.
No, you can't see.
Well, if we pay him to show us, it's still professional.
Alrighty. Just gonna clap for your edit point there.
we're not editing that.
Waveform.
Okay, you roll an 02.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. Like,
as soon as you guys decide, you know what? Maybe let's not go. And you're like, oh, maybe the wolves will get some of the beast hunters. You're like, oh, we should be so lucky. And all of a sudden you hear, and it starts to slowly rain, and it keeps raining throughout most of the night. And if you would have been out there, you would have been like drenched and miserable. We're going to say that this is like one of the wettest Aprils that has hit Switzerland in like 100 years.
Great.
Right. That's when
Lucius
that's when the lambs are born.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a good, and that probably affected the beast hunters. They probably had a horrible night. And you are starting fresh in the morning. So you get out there, and she says these were her standard pasture lands, and you can see probably about a mile, like 2 miles ahead, the foothills of the mountains where she claims to have sought shelter in a storm.
Right. What? So,
And Nan says that, and here's where I leave you.
will you go back alone?
And she says, it's not that far and it's all downhill. I can still see the village from here.
Okay.
And, there are like people, there are other shepherds and herdsmen moving around. So she's not like, out in the wilderness by herself.
Yeah.
Not really.
And it's early too. It's probably
you guys get up at dawn. I mean, Romans don't. There's no sleeping late in ancient Rome.
Right. So Lucius would begin to cast around to field and use tracking to see if he can find her footsteps anywhere. See if there was, drag marks
from like 10 months ago.
Oh shit, that's right. It was a while ago. Damn it.
With all this rain.
Yeah.
How awesome is your tracking, though?
So he starts to like.
A hound of Tildados couldn't track her at this point.
He starts to look around and kind of like
roll your tracking. Roll your tracking.
Can I roll it too? I happen to have a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I passed. No. 36 out of 40.
A group of 6 men. One on horseback went this way, probably in the night.
Yeah.
The reason you can find it even in after all this rain is it was 6 men and a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay.
And through muddy fields.
Yeah. So Lucius, he points it out. He goes, "It looks as if the hunters were here. One of them is on horseback."
You notice that the grass in this pasture is almost knee high. No one has been bringing their herds here.
Yeah. All right. Not after she got snatched.
Okay. So what do you do?
Well, no, go ahead.
Well, just looking at the edges of the pasture, the transition spaces between pasture and rocky terrain, looking for potential caves and shelter spots.
Okay, you can spend several hours hiking around the foothills looking for trails. So everybody make a spot hidden.
Ought 4.
6.
That's
6.
critical.
Yeah,
wow.
Same here.
3 is a failure.
You find it by noon. You're up in the foothills, and and what's helping you find it is because you keep seeing disturbed gravel, snapped twigs, piles of horse poop. Someone has blazed the trail almost for you until you get to an area where you see a guy with a spear and a beautiful roan stallion with saddlebags, and he's got a small tent and a cooking fire. He's almost got like a little camp with this horse. And he's not holding the spear. He's kind of just, he has the spear at his side, and he's tending his camp. I need everybody to make a stealth roll
I was going to ask if, I guess us being able to see them then gives us the ability to make a stealth roll.
Well, this is to see if he heard you coming up.
Okay.
I got a what do you call it? A hard success.
Okay.
Failed by 22.
All right. You failed. You didn't know he was up here. It's kind of like you round the corner and there he is about 50 yards up the hill. He sees you. You see him. He waves and looks a little confused.
Well, let's approach.
Now, are you in your full kit, Centurion?
Oh, yeah, I would assume so. We're hunting monsters.
Okay. From now on, you need to tell me when you put it on and when you take it off. And keep in mind, it's Larica Segmenta. It's the plate armor. It's the full kit. Or do you have chain?
I would assume he would have the scale style. So like the breastplate, the greaves, the
scale
arm.
is the leather. I mean, does he have the whole metal bands strapped? You know, it's important.
I don't know that we ever established that. I have leather and rings. Yeah, leather and rings and a shield.
Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, so that's your kind of light, kind of scouting armor. So you could actually wear that all day long.
Okay.
The heavy plate armor, you're good for about 4 or 5 hours,
okay.
And then your back's going to be screaming, and you definitely can't sleep in it. It's well weighted. It's just a lot of weight.
Sure.
What you're wearing, it's not as protective, but it's a lot more comfortable. So you start up to him.
I fall back a little bit.
Yeah, I guess I moved them.
Horatius.
So he's like a Salve citizen?
Salve.
Soldier? What brings you up north here?
He looks back at the other two guys and he says there was a disappearance of a girl in the area here. We are casting about, seeing what information we could find, see if we could turn anything up. Have you seen anyone, heard anything?
We've heard the same story and had the same intent. No worries. It won't. Whatever it was that harmed that poor girl won't be a threat for much longer.
Oh, did you find something?
No, but they will. They always do.
Do you believe it to be a bear or some such? We saw the wagon in town. I assume that you were the hunters that we heard of.
He's rolling insight.
As am I.
I'm not going to roll because I don't trust him already anyways. It's not
right.
No.
He smirks and he says, if we were going to get bears, we'd go to Germania. There's something rare in these hills, and I think we both know what it is. But what's your interest in it? He says, come, we are men of action. Let's not bandy about. And unless your lurking friend has a bow, why don't you tell him to come up to the camp?
Did you guys drop way back, or?
I didn't think so.
No, but a few paces was my thought.
Okay.
Yeah, approach the camp.
We just wish to see that the village is protected. We were paid a fair sum of coin to come out and investigate, so we're just doing our due diligence.
Well, then we have the same goal. Once this beast is dragged out of these mountains, it'll no longer be a threat to the village. So, in fact, you should give us some of your fee. But he's joking. He laughs and he says, no offense. I jest, soldier."
Yeah, when he says that, his hand starts to fall down to where his sword is until he starts.
But he realizes that might not have been the best joke to make, and he's like, "I apologize. I mean no offense." But no, we're of one mind, sir.
Perhaps we could work together.
I think that we already are.
Indeed.
Just answer me one question. You guys,
Certainly, handsome.
you guys and this creature up here, your cage is back down in the village. How are you going to get him in the cage?
How are we going to get the wagon through those muddy-ass fields? Don't tell me how to do my job, Theo. he goes, if we could have gotten the wagon up here, we would have. We have nets. We'll carry it back, and then we'll put it in the cage, and then we'll cover it up.
Nets, yeah. Nets. That'll work well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're welcome to wait with me.
So he's right outside the cave?
You don't see where the cave is.
Oh, he's a little bit further down the trail. He looks to the other two guys and kind of like half shrugs, as to like, do you guys want to stay or do you want to go?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do now is, yes, it's been months since those old tracks were, but now we've got fresh tracks in wet terrain. So I'm going to look to see if I can find where they might have headed off from here.
Easily. Yeah.
Great. No, I think we should move along.
You're the boss.
Well, that's fine. And he actually gets up and he stands in the path. He stands in the direction that the tracks lead. He says,
Sure.
"Well, perhaps back in town you can share a drink, celebrate our victory, our mutual victory."
Sure thing.
So Lucius would just stand in front of him. So if he gets up to stand and block the trail, then Lucius just sort of, like, he doesn't make a threatening motion, like he doesn't approach him, but he just also stands.
I thought you were going.
Indeed, but I believe we're going that way.
I believe you're not.
Really?
Oh boy.
I mean, how sure do you want to be about that, buddy? Because, and I, spread out my full...
Okay, I'm guessing that's an intimidate roll.
Yes.
I'm going to actually give you a bonus dice because you've got the armed centurion next to you.
Okay, regular success.
Okay, even with the bonus.
Yep.
Okay. He is going to roll. He says, there may be one of me now, but when my friends get here, we'll outnumber you 2-1. So he's going to roll his intimidate, and he rolls a 70. He fails.
But they don't know we're here. And you are outnumbered 3-1 now.
Okay, I'm going to have you roll your persuade.
38, fail.
I've chewed up bigger pieces of gristle than you.
Just going to verbally abuse him until he starts to cry.
He looks at you both, and he says, "Well, I think math was never my strong point." And he says, and it's not in this case. If you insist, at your current odds, there's not a lot I could do. I could wound you both, but I don't want to kill a soldier. And if it means that much to you, I will step aside. But, this quarry is ours. You would do well not to interfere in our business.
Why don't you sit down and double check your math?
Burn.
He says, "All right, Gargoyle, the road is yours."
So Lucius doesn't move. He waits for you guys to pass, and he will, stand in front of the guy to block him from you two.
Yep.
And he has his hand, the palm on the butt of his sword at this point.
Right. This guy's not stupid enough to. I mean, if it had been a group of academics, but you guys have a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of teeth in this trio, so
There
Yeah.
is.
he's
So-
not really in the mood to make a point of this.
Right. So as those two pass, I just, I turn to him and I say, our interest is less in the quarry that you guys are after and more information. You needn't worry about
Okay.
us.
So you get about 20 more yards up, and I need you all to roll a spot hidden.
Nope.
Go for
13.
Yeah, I got a extreme.
You do find
I don't know if
the cave. It is well concealed by a large tree and a bush and like a half boulder. So you kind of have to almost walk around the boulder and then double back, and it kind of switches back, and it's very steeply down. It almost starts off like maybe like a 70-degree angle.
Whoa.
And then so it's almost like you're skidding on gravel, and then it levels out.
And the tracks lead all the way in, and there's skid marks in the. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, good luck carrying something in nets up that.
It's
Yes,
still large enough. It's wide. It's just very steep.
Mm.
Like you can easily see a flock nimbly coming down here to get out of the rain. No sooner are you all in the cave than you hear the sound of a hunting horn call 3 times.
Inside the cave? Subtle, guys. Jeez.
No, not inside the cave. From the guy back on the trail.
Oh,
Oh, of
I
course.
should have knocked him out.
Yeah. All right. Well,
is
so
it
you
worth
are
it to
at the-
go back and teach that guy a lesson, do you think? I mean, it's probably too late now.
I would enjoy watching as a spectator, but I think we're committed now.
Well, once we're done here, I'll drop a horse on him.
Okay,
Alright.
so you get out. You're now in this large, dark cave, and it is very, very dark. The way the cave is concealed keeps sunlight from spilling into it. So even though it's daylight outside, it's very, very dark in the cave.
I draw my sword.
Same.
Um,
Draw a knife.
would we have? We knew we were going to a cave. Would we have thought to bring torches?
I don't know. Did you think to bring torches?
Yes.
I mean, in fear, I'd roll a preparedness check. So I would think so. I mean, as a military guy, like I think he would be, all over that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Given rations and travel supplies
Mm.
before you left Rome.
Yeah.
So you light a torch, and you don't see another way out of this cave. It is just a large, round cave. There's a lot of sheep poop in it. Well, no. Actually, there is some poop in it, but it's not sheep poop.
Oh yeah. What's all right? Does anybody have natural
Sure.
world?
Natural world.
Nope.
I do. Let me take a
Yeah, I
look.
mean I've got base. We've all got base.
Oh shit! I got an aught 1, so I guess that's extreme because my natural order is 30.
It's a bear. It's bear poop. So bears
seems,
sometimes lair here.
yeah, it seems as if there's bear shit.
Wow.
It's not satyr shit. I mean, I guess that's something.
What have you seen before? We should talk more on the way back. Should we make it out? Okay.
So would it? So Lucius would begin to look around to see if there's anything like
Make a
good.
spot hidden. You are searching
Yeah.
the cave.
All right,
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking for tracks. And
94.
place where tracks might end.
There are tracks all over this, crisscrossing over one another, so it's hard to find a trail.
All right, there's no conspicuous place where they end.
No.
All right. My spot is a hard success. Half.
Okay. So, Chad, you not only find the cunningly hidden door, you stumble upon the lever to release it.
I believe I found it. And now, it doesn't seem like tracks go up to this door and stop?
No, because there were so many tracks crisscrossing in the cave
Okay.
that they just kind of, it's almost like they brushed over their own tracks by just walking around.
All right.
Like, you can tell that they meandered here looking for some way forward until they stumbled upon the door as you did.
Well, I point out the lever. Shall we?
Yes. So Lucius turns around from like completely the opposite side of the cave with the torch, like looking all around for anything.
Over here. I see a shadow. See this line?
Oh. Yes.
Okay, so and here is a set of stairs.
Through the door?
And it's kind of in a tunnel through the mountain.
Okay. Let's proceed. Me last.
Would you rather be in the middle?
Oh, that is a more protected position. Yeah, it's true. We have an enemy that we know of behind us. So yes, in the middle.
I'll go first.
Okay, so you follow the stairs for some distance, and eventually this long stairway going up stops at a round spiral staircase, like leading up into the mountain.
Wow.
And, they're very cunningly carved. You don't even see a chisel mark. You're not really sure how this passageway was tunneled or created.
Okay, I say we continue up.
Have we?
Okay. In the ancient world.
Have we heard anything at all? Like, have we heard the hunters, clattering around and ahead of us or anything? It's just silent.
No, silent. Okay, you feel like you're on these spiral stairs for a long time. And then finally they open up into a hallway. And then after about 100 feet on the hallway, there's another freaking set of stairs heading upwards.
Wow.
Seems we are meant to ascend the entire mountain.
Yes, I'm a little, just a rest for a moment. All right.
Actually, a rest is probably not a bad idea. You've probably been walking stairs for half an hour.
Yeah, Lucius offers you his water skin.
Thank you. Just don't climb stairs like I used to.
Do you find that it's strange that we haven't heard anything else? I mean, granted, the passages and stairs are long, but you would think the hunters would make a racket on their way up.
Yes. Well, what was the lead time ahead? What did he say?
Oh, well, they had left yesterday.
No, but from the camp. Oh, from the camp they left yesterday?
No, well, they left the town yesterday, right? So
yes,
they climbed up.
But how far ahead of the guard?
I don't think he said.
No,
he didn't.
We didn't ask. Shakes his head at himself. Bad spy.
Okay, after you've had efficient rest, you feel, somewhat recovered, and you can continue.
Yep.
After halfway up the stairs, suddenly there is a blue mote of light that just kind of appears over the stairway, illuminating it. Another and another and another that just kind of wink on, so that your torch is no longer necessary.
They wink on sort of as we pass, almost. I hate to be
As
modern,
you
but like a
approach.
motion detector almost.
Right, and I need all of you to make a sanity check.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fail.
29. Pass.
Made it.
1 point if you fail.
Oh, damn it.
And nothing if you don't.
Nothing if you succeed. If
Oh,
you're
okay,
fine.
okay. A pre-fail, yeah.
That's strange. I've never seen anything like that before.
What are those stars?
How high up can I play with them a little bit and wave my hand in front of them?
You can even touch them.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It's like a dancing candle flame.
Did the magus say anything about blue light? I don't remember if that was
No,
part
he
of the
didn't say
story.
anything.
No.
So this and he kind of like waves his hand around to encompass the lights and everything. Could be the gate that we were looking for. Beyond here may be the land that is in question.
Yes, indeed. Now, these are in a line along the hallway, sort of like sconces.
Oh, they're almost above your head. They're like in the middle of the hallway, kind of hovering near the ceiling,
Wow.
lighting up the last leg of the stairs.
Okay. So they're not forming a gate, but they're forming a hall.
Right.
Lighting the hall. Okay. Yes. I think we're getting a little bit closer.
All right. After about another 10 minutes, the lights stop appearing, but there is a glow of natural light filling the cavern before you.
Do we all see it together? Does
Yeah, you start to
Iavolenus-
see light. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay. So if nobody else says anything, Lucius would say, wait, slow down. Let's see if we can't hear anything or see anything from our current vantage point.
Roll
Yes.
listen.
No, failure.
Regular success.
I think I failed. Trying to find another sheet.
You hear bird song.
I think this opens to the sky. Do you hear that?
No, what did you hear?
Birds. It's birds.
But no hunters.
No hunters, right?
No.
It's curious.
Yeah. So it seems there's an open cavern, open to the outside. We may be at the top of the mountain by now.
I say we proceed with caution.
Yeah.
Indeed. So there's a cavern. It opens out into a cavern in front of us.
The stairs. You start to see natural light filling the tunnel ahead of you.
Okay.
You haven't gotten up to there yet. You stopped and listened as soon as you saw the light.
Okay.
Can we make stealth checks to move forward?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Now how? Let me just ask a little skill question. Are you guys good at stealth?
No. 10%.
Iavolenus?
20%.
How much? 40?
20.
Yeah, let me I think I can. Let me just go ahead, friends. I will screw up my courage and go ahead of them to scout because I am good at this.
Okay, so like Lucius starts to like adjust his arm and it's like ching ching ching.
Yeah.
I'm still laughing about that sit down and check your figures joke I made like
That was pretty funny.
You sneak up and you get to the natural cave. Now the natural light, and the stairs end, and it's a very brief hallway leading to an arched doorway, and you can look out and you see clouds.
Out of the arched doorway is just the outside is just the sky.
Yeah, you see beyond the arched doorway, you don't see trees. You see clouds, like the misty clouds drifting by.
And I hear birds.
Yes.
Are these birds I'm familiar with?
Yes.
Oh, they are. Okay. Slight surprise. Okay. So I'll go back and fetch them. It looks like the door just opens to the outside. Come.
Okay, you all come back and you see the bright sun and clouds drifting by the open doorway.
Are there stairs or a dais or man-made?
As you peek out of the doorway, you see that you are high up on the rim of a valley. Basically, you're on like you come out of the cave on the side of a cliff, and the cliff forms like a round bowl, maybe 30 miles across. And below you, you see clouds out and below you, but below you, you see, a vast forest filling up about half of this bowl. And you see pasture lands and even a lake in the valley below you. But there's a natural set of stairs kind of heading down into the valley, spiraling around the wall of the canyon.
And do we see hunters?
It is breathtakingly beautiful. You don't see anyone. But it is a beautiful sight. And it is much warmer than it was when you left.
Which is strange,
it feels as if it's summer. And you've come up rather high into the mountains.
That ain't right.
Nope.
Make sand check.
Okay.
Failed.
That's a fail.
Damn, fail.
Okay, 1 point, because you know that this is the combination of the blue lights, this hidden valley in the Alps, and this high mountain valley where it appears to be summer when you know it's only early spring. It's a bit much.
Well, this would appear to be the land of wonder, or at least the valley below.
Yeah.
But we know that we know that things that are not so good happened here. So be not comforted by its beauty.
How do you wish to proceed? Should we attempt to speak with the satyrs, do you believe? If they truck with the dark gods, and there's a whole land full of them.
Are you guys coming down the side of the... Not yet?
I would say not yet. Like, he would want to have this conversation before they did anything else.
Yeah. So your question is, do we engage with the satyrs if we find them?
I mean, so like mythology wise, we would know, like just straight mythology wise, we would know something about satyrs, occult, Cthulhu, whatever, maybe not so much, but
yeah. Yeah, I just I can't separate the two, and frankly, I think a satyr is not something I want to speak with. I don't need to have that conversation, and I can't think of what we gain. We want to close the door. That is our job. No?
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be our job.
I believe that would probably be the safest thing. With that in mind, do you feel like we should return now before walking into a hornet's nest? Surely the hunters, if they are in the valley, are causing some sort of disruption or another. If we describe the gate or portal to the Magus, he may be able to fashion some ward or another that we could just simply come back and close the door.
Well, some part of my shrunken heart has compassion for these hunters. They know not what they've gotten themselves into. They think they're chasing bears or maybe even a satyr, but they have no idea what they're in for. And also the disruption, as you say, that they could cause could come back to haunt us and the town. So I think we need to go after the hunters.
If I can throw in my 2 denarii,
Please.
if the hunters came through the cave we did, down into this valley, we ain't seen any sign of them.
It's true.
We can't guarantee they're still alive.
No, but it'd be awfully nice to confirm.
True. But I think first sign that satyrs tore them apart, we get out of here.
Agreed.
The people of the town ain't coming to this pasture anymore. Look at the grass outside.
Agreed. And we should try to disrupt on our own as little as possible.
Yep.
Leave light footprints.
Okay.
Lucius shrugs, when you talk about the hunters and whatever, and he just says, they're beast hunters. They know what they've gotten themselves into.
Well, yes, but the consequences for us could be worsened by their antics down there. They could stir things up and cause a riot of satyrs following them into the town, or who knows. I think we need to control and contain.
Fair enough.
Okay.
No, I mean, we can talk above
Yes.
game too. Is that okay?
No, like Lucius's thing is life is cheap, and their job is to hunt beasts. So
Right.
if they're dead, this is what it's like being a soldier. They're dead. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew what they signed up for.
Yeah, I only have a shred of compassion for them, but I think in reality, finding them dead would be great, because then we could run back and get explosives or whatever we're gonna do. Just close the door.
Yeah, he's fine. He's not arguing against it. He just shrugs. Like they're a non-issue for him unless we have to kill them. Whatever.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so you're still up on this canyon overlooking this lovely picturesque valley.
Mm.
You said there was stairs leading down into the valley?
Mm-hmm.
I think we should start heading down the stairs.
Okay, going downstairs is a lot easier than up. And soon you are on the floor of the valley, at the edge of some pasture land. And it's, you're very warm. It's very humid here, but there are blooming flowers everywhere. There's fruit hanging off of trees almost everywhere you look. It's very picturesque.
I do want to be looking for tracks to see if possibly the hunters would plausibly have gone.
Okay, make a tracking roll. Tell me the level of your success.
It is a 16 on a 70, which is it's not quite extreme.
But it is a hard success.
Hard success. Very hard?
And anyone else?
I failed.
Okay. Failed.
All right, so you find 2 sets of tracks. You find the beast hunters, and they are heading up towards the forest. Their tracks are a little odd because they'll move and then they'll stop, and then they'll move and then they'll stop. But you find another much fainter set of tracks heading in the opposite direction, hugging the canyon wall, leading deeper into the pasture lands, kind of towards the lake.
A fainter set of tracks, you say?
Right. And they're not booted or sandaled. They may be animal tracks.
Are they little moon shapes, little half round?
Yeah, they look like hooves. Yes, it could very well be the hooves of a single bipedal creature. You did make a hard success.
I point the tracks out with some hesitation, but here, this is not. I see only 2 tracks here in this hoof, in this goat print.
So it would seem that that the satyr is trying to evade them, which I guess is good for the hunters. They haven't been torn apart.
I suppose.
Which set of tracks do you propose that we follow?
That's a good question.
Let's follow the hunter's tracks. See what we can make of them. And then we can double back and look into these hooves.
Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna rip a little piece of tunic off and tie a little marker for the fork.
Oh boy.
I will just point out that any confrontation with the hunters at this point could potentially lead to violence.
I am well aware and happy to pursue that avenue.
He kind of like, he looks a little taken aback because of your age and the fact that you just have a dagger in your hand. He's like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, well, what he really means is that he's going to fall back and let that happen.
Well, I'm not making an insight check, so I don't know that.
Like, this old man's tough. He goes, I'm going to run as soon as
Yeah.
let these young guys take care of that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you follow the hunters for a bit, and you actually get to the forest. And the forest here is very thick and very dark. And there's a lot of different kinds of trees from many different places that shouldn't be growing together, but they are. And there's many fruit trees and nut trees. It's almost as if it was at once a garden that's just grown wild.
Mm,
And
okay.
I need you to make another tracking roll.
It's 0-2. I haven't rolled as many double zeros on the 10 spot.
You've realized that the reason these hunters are moving and stopping and moving and stopping is they're actually following another set of tracks. They're actually following a set of satyr tracks.
Ah.
So that other set of tracks wasn't evading so much as maybe hunting the hunters.
We're going to
Well,
get reinforcements.
The first one that peeled off was a satyr that had gone before it. It was fainter.
Okay.
But it also could have been later.
It's possible. I mean, a tracker would know. I don't know. Was I able to tell? That was my impression, Oscar, from the description, is that the satyr tracks that we first saw had gone before and split off.
Right.
Yes. Okay, that's what I thought.
Or it's just an older set of the satyr's tracks.
Right.
Okay.
But now I see a set of satyr tracks underneath the following humans, correct?
Right. Leading into the forest.
Into the forest. Okay.
The satyr went into the forest, the hunters followed, you're following the hunters.
Yeah, I convey that, the story that the tracks are telling.
And you rolled an 0-2?
Yeah.
This is one clumsy satyr.
Huh.
Broken twigs, choosing a path that another path had better cover.
Huh. I don't see blood drops or anything like that.
No.
And this seems like an adult?
Yes.
As well as I can tell?
Yeah, as well as you can tell.
The weight of a human. Okay. That's strange. This creature is clumsy or sick.
Do you believe it may be the red-headed satyr? Maybe it is somewhat unfamiliar, somewhat ungainly if he spent any real time with his birth mother?
Possibly, yeah. Yes, it's possible.
Or it could be a satyr putting on a show of being weak and sick and clumsy, put these guys in a false sense of security, and lure them into an ambush.
That's true. It could be stopping here and there to wait for them to catch up. Still, something. See this place where it's broken here? It seems it's possible it's making a show, but I don't know.
In any case, we should proceed with caution, obviously.
Okay, you proceed with caution, following the trail, and give me 1 second. But get your dice out.
Saw somebody whiz by the background there.
My daughter's boyfriend, I think he's getting ready to leave.
Yeah, again, you guys are not so stealthy.
I'm trying my best.
I know. But I'm just wondering, I'm the worst person to play point, but if we want to surprise these guys.
I need each of you to make a constitution check.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, that's going to be bad.
Hard success.
Oh, I made it. 71 out of 80. Oof.
I sure did fail. It's not a botch, but it's a fail.
You begin to smell a very sweet scent.
Mm.
And you are, Chad, your character is overcome with this scent.
Mm.
And it is like a sweet smelling, like almost like honey.
Mm.
And like stepping out from behind this beautiful tree is the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in your entire life. And she is nude with long hair and shapely legs and wide hips. And she holds out her arms to you. And you are helpless but to move into her embrace.
Oh, no.
Now, what the other two see is this strange, there's a word that I can never pronounce well.
Sylph?
Simulacrum.
Oh.
Of a human woman's form. But it looks almost as if it's made out of mushroom-like tissue. And it holds its arms out, and Chad's character just starts walking towards it.
Can I
check to grab
him?
You both roll to grab him, so roll brawling.
Just made it. 64 out of 65.
Yeah, I got a 24 out of 50.
Okay. You grab him and you both like pull him off his feet, and you see the thing pout. I need the two of you to make a con check again. Damn it.
Mm.
Regular success.
Oh, I rolled an 82. I'm spending 2 points of luck on that.
Okay.
To make it a success.
Your character, you feel yourself almost overcome with it, and then you notice there are like 4 more of these beautiful women, like kind of creeping around this grove of like incredibly beautiful trees, and then you grab onto the amulet that you brought from the guy, and you say a brief prayer to, like, I guess myth. I think you said you were a Mithratic. Anyway, whatever. and you see this beautiful woman who looks like this shapely slave girl that was owned at the next farm over, and then you just shake your head off. You shake your head and you shake it off, and you see it's another one of these mushroom things beckoning forward. And you remain in control, but you realize this sickly scent is intoxicating you guys. All right, Chad, I need you to roll a brawling.
Oh shit.
Super fail.
All right, you failed. All right, Bill, I need you to roll to see if you maintain control of him.
Regular success.
Okay, he's trying to get away from you. You're not letting that happen. When the centurion almost lost control, he let go of Chad because he was like shaking his head. And you see like there's now 4 of these things in the grove before you, and you're the only one who's kind of still have their entire senses. So I need you to roll a spot hidden, Bill.
Okay. Ought to.
Wow.
You see on the ground, half covered with moss, are like 4 or 5 humans who are covered in like sticky resin, and it almost looks like the sticky resin is dissolving away their flesh, and you can see like bits of bone and like exposed eyes and teeth on their cheeks. They're being dissolved in this sap at the base of these trees, and I need you to make a sand. I need all of you, well, everybody except Chad, who's kind of into it, to make a sand check.
Success.
Okay, 1 point, 1 point. All right, what do you guys want to do?
I want to go give it a hug.
Back off, Slut. I'll burn this whole forest down. And I start backing away with my employer in a headlock.
All right, I'm gonna actually, when you scream that as you start backing away, roll an intimidate. What are you gonna do?
He sheathes the sword and he like holds up both of his hands the raptor scene in Jurassic World is like, we mean no harm. They are not with us.
Hard success.
Are you backing up or holding your ground?
They're backing up.
Okay, you start backing up. All right, I'm going to give you guys a con, but I'm going to give you a bonus dice to it.
What'd the hard success of my intimidate get me?
They actually start backing away.
Nice.
You actually knew the proper threat to make.
How does the bonus die work?
Yeah, you roll it twice. The tens place
You roll
twice.
the 10s twice, and you the better of the 2.
With the bonus die, I failed.
Yeah, I failed with the bonus die.
I got an 11 out of 80.
All right. You have an 11 out of 80, so you're fine. But the big guy gets a change of heart. Actually, with the intimidate, as they're backing away, these mushroom girls turn into like the most beautiful woman you've ever seen, and you suddenly regret every life choice that has brought you to this moment of misery and sorrow, and you start trying to run after them, but they run away from you and vanish.
So he takes like a step or two forward, and I just reach out to try to grab him. No, it's probably a losing proposition.
Well, good. No, go to try and grab him. Make a
29 on my brawl.
All right, you basically grab him is more like tackle him around the waist as you kick the old man down, and then these creatures just drift away into their tree, into their grove, and
like snap out of it, snap out of it.
I failed. I guess I'm crawling forward.
No, actually, after he made the threat, and you seemed like you weren't being affected, they kind of backed off. Oh. But the scent is still very strong here, so it's still dangerous to linger.
Well, I think we got an answer to the question of what happened to the hunters.
Yeah.
So,
yes, I just So I'm snapped out of it. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, we have to leave right away. There's no reason to be here anymore. We don't need to follow anything. We just leave this alone.
I would agree.
In the War of Shadows, this is what we call a Pyrrhic victory.
All right. As you are backtracking through the forest, you hear the sound of like. Hold on. Let me try and get some props.
Oh boy.
Like,
and it sounds like sticks, kind of.
Yeah. From ahead of you, from behind you, the way you came.
Oh, behind us too?
As you start backtracking, leaving the forest area, you hear that sound.
But it's behind. Is it in front and behind, or just behind?
It's the way you were. Now it's in front of you because you turned around.
Oh, okay. God. Quick.
Yeah, I used to just start to double time, maybe.
Yes. Start to run.
Yep.
Okay. You start running, and you're actually running towards the sound.
Yeah.
But it's the way we have to go to leave.
Right.
We're not going into the sap dissolving woods.
Right. I need you guys both to. I need all three of you to make a spot hidden.
19
Extreme
is
success.
Yeah.
All three of you see two shapes moving through the forest at a lope towards you. They're both humanoid. They haven't seen you yet. You've gotten the drop on them. You can surprise them and ambush them. You can hide and try and see if they'll pass and not notice you. It's all up to you. But each of you needs to decide what you're going to do, stick to it, and then tell me without talking to each other.
Okay. So
make a promise to yourself that you're not going to lie. Decide what your character does and stick to it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you see them, you don't have time to talk to each other. Okay. What do you guys do?
I drop.
Hide. You're okay. Roll stealth to hide.
I can't. 28. Well, my stealth is only 10, and that's a shitload of points to spend.
Okay, Chad,
I'm hiding.
You're just gonna hope that you're hiding. Okay, so you try and hide, and maybe not. Chad, you're hiding.
Yeah.
Bill.
So I'm a cement pylon covered in body hair, holding a sword. I'm going to keep moving forward and scream and try and intimidate.
Oh shit!
Okay, you move forward with the sword, screaming. All right, and the other two guys are hiding. All right, that's fair. So you move forward, screaming. I need you to immediately make a sand check.
9 success.
You're fine. That's 1 point loss. You square off against a pair of satyrs. They are just massive chested, massive shoulders. They're wearing almost like a off the shoulder, like one shouldered tunic with a skirt. You know, the furry goat legs with the hooves. The spiral ram's horns, and they both have these like wicked iron tipped clubs. And you come forward screaming with your intimidate. We could roll that.
Are they fey creatures? Would they use iron?
Extreme success.
Okay, you're like and they hop back and they look at each other and then they start trying to flank you. Like they're not that anxious to attack you, but there's no way that they're not fighting you. They look very jacked up, and one of them says in a language that you're not familiar. They start speaking a language you're not familiar with.
So not Greek or Latin, huh? Not
Greek or Latin. but they like and as they kind of start trying to flank you, they like each one of them screams and like holds the club over its hand, trying to intimidate you guys. It's almost like one of those dude bro moments where everybody's waiting to throw the first blow, but nobody wants to.
Come at me.
Because you so intimidated them that now they're almost off their footing.
Do they see Chad and I or no?
No, because he ran forward screaming.
Yeah. So he kind of like.
If you guys wanted to get a surprise attack, I'd let you attack with a bonus dice this round because he's got them so distracted.
As much as a fighter as he is as a soldier, he kind of doesn't want to fight. I mean, he kind of whispers to Salvius, and he's like, "Do you think there's any chance that we could reason with them?" I mean, Oscar's shaking his head no.
Did he just say no?
I didn't say anything. I didn't shake my head no.
Does either one of them have red hair?
No.
Okay, all right.
And they're not speaking a language you understand.
So he's. I don't understand. Do you understand what they're saying?
No, I don't. I assume, right?
You could roll Cthulhu Mythos.
Oh shit, that's funny. 20. I'm sure I'm not that high yet.
No.
Not like 8. Yeah, no. No, I don't understand it. But I can't leave him out there. We brought him into this. I brought him into this.
Yes, no, right. we must spring him. I guess we're going to have to take those two down and make a break for the gate.
Yeah. So we can have a surprise attack, before initiative?
He rolled a critical success on his intimidate, and he came screaming at them, and he's almost as ugly as they are. So basically, you intimidated two jacked up satyrs. So they're like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" So that took some doing, and now they're like, "We're gonna kick his ass," but he looks tough, so they're off balance. So you guys could just jump in.
Okay, so
actually, because they flanked him, you can only both attack the same one.
Oh, sure.
The one that's closer to where the two of you have been hiding.
So dripping. Okay. So just let's get him. And I dripping with regret and the sadness of bringing this poor
of having to enter combat.
Yes. But I'm gonna reach back and pull the oval gem set in silver out of a pocket, a bag. And what is it? Is it a necklace?
Oh,
I've got a tiara and
you put it on.
The tiara is pretty funny. Yeah, I put them both on, man. Let's friggin' see what happens.
You can understand what they're saying.
Oh, what are they saying?
Not a woman. You hit him. No, you hit him.
Right. Okay. That's all.
We both hit him on. We hit him on 3. Where did he come from? Do you think there's a woman with him? I don't know.
So I guess that's your thing. So I just rush out because I assume you're going to be right behind me.
I am. I draw a knife. I draw a knife. Okay, can I?
He'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
But can I attack behind him?
John, you can start off, and then it's going to be on.
Okay.
All right.
You get the surprise attack with the bonus dice.
I don't even need it. I rolled an +7. My swords is 70.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So extreme success.
So he's in a crouch as they're having this conversation. He's like, all right, let's go. So
what's your max damage with the sword, including strength bonus?
1d6 + 1.
Do you have a strength bonus?
I guess that's +1. Yeah, because my strength is 70. So it'd be 7 total.
Well, it'd be a die, right?
He said, what's the max? So it's 1d6 + 1. So 7.
Oh, I see. But do you have a damage bonus?
Of 1d4.
Combat.
No, I don't believe so. I guess not.
Build 0. Okay.
Okay. So that I do not believe is enough to put it down.
It's enough to get its attention.
Yeah, so it does have like really thick, muscular. It's like when you hit it, it's almost like hitting leather. But you do a good amount of damage to it, and it is very shocked. Chad, were you going to be stabbing it the same round or no?
Yeah.
Okay,
go. If I can, yeah. All right. Just with a knife, I hit a 95. All right. Yoo-hoo. That is not quite
you have
a
a
botch.
bonus. You have a bonus dice because it's
I do.
surprise attack.
65. Sweet. I miss.
Okay. All right. So, Bill, all of a sudden, this one guy pitches forward as the centurion comes forward and hits him with the sword. The other one is surprised, so you'll get to attack first. You can attack the unwounded one, or you can just dogpile on the one that just got stabbed.
I'm going to attack the unwounded one.
Okay, go.
1.
Oh man, we're killing it.
All
What's your
right.
max damage?
With the damage bonus, 11.
With damage. Ooh. All right, that is just a horrific blow. It does not put it down, but it is more than half his damage. So you just come up. What are you wielding?
Gladius.
So you just stab him deeply. The satyrs, they're good for a round of combat, even though they've gotten bad initial hits. So, Bill, yours swings the club down at you, and he will connect. Very glancing blow, 2 points. If you're wearing armor, it may not even get through it. What's your armor?
Hardened leather. So D4.
So we'll roll 1d4.
Yeah, I ignore it.
You ignore its meager blow. And John, you are also hit. This one does a total of 6 points of damage.
Oof.
Let's roll your armor rating.
Rolled a 4.
Okay, so you take 2 points of damage.
All right.
Okay, it is the next round. What do you guys want to do?
If it doesn't look like they're falling back, Lucius would continue to press the advantage on the one that he already attacked.
Okay. Okay, roll your attacks.
32 out of 70.
Miss with a 90.
10 is a hit, a regular hit.
Okay.
With a knife.
All right, give me damage, guys.
Yep.
7. I rolled a 6 on the D6.
Total of 1.
It does no damage.
Yeah.
All right, and Bill, you missed.
Yes.
Okay.
This is folly.
Everyone make a luck check.
Oh, thanks. Fail.
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 Okay.
There's 8 more.
Yeah.
You guys hear the whistle of a sling stone,
Oh, great.
and it hits a tree, and suddenly there's like a burst of light, and you hear a cider yelling, "Flee, brothers, flee! They will kill you! Flee!"
Well, Chad's character hears that.
Yeah, you just hear a third cider yelling, and the other two siders yell, you know, the runt, the runt, the boy, and one says, hurt bad, and he says, come. And you basically, both siders are trying to escape. They're trying to withdraw from the flash. You guys can attack with a penalty dice, or you can just let them go.
I'll let them go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I motion to Salvius. I start like pushing him like to the exit.
Yes. Go. Now. Wind in my hair, in my graying hair.
Okay, you're running, and you hear a voice through the forest calling out to you in Latin.
Whoa. Well,
What does it say?
I call for parley. May I approach?
oh God. From the forest behind us as we're running away.
Yeah, I say, I know you did not wish to speak, but an opportunity may present itself. The other two satyrs withdraw. This may buy us some time to at least flee in peace.
Yes. Let's stop.
Yeah, let's hear what he has to say.
Okay, so he says, do I have your leave to approach peacefully?
Yes. Show empty hands. I sheathe the dagger, actually. Show empty hands.
Yep. Same.
Grudgingly,
Yeah.
Lucius would sheathe the sword, but he keeps the shield up.
Good.
Okay. And coming through, clopping through the forest is a cider with reddish fur.
Ah.
He says, son of a bitch.
And he says, well met, I am Kenner.
Kenner. I believe we've heard about you before.
He says, the trail I left for the hunters was not for you.
Yes. And the hunters were following you?
I led them to their doom. They came intent on violence, it was clear.
We wish to avoid violence upon our entry and only wish to find what had happened to the hunters. We saw that they had been dealt with, and we had wished to leave when we were set upon by your men.
Yes, in fact, we had hoped that they would not disturb this place. We know that it's wrong to be here.
He looks over at the tiara, and he says, where did you get that?
I found it.
He says, that was a gift. Where did you find it?
We found this at the home. I'm looking for the name. What is her name?
Something with an M.
With an M?
Malipa.
Malipa. Yep.
We found it in the home of Malipa, someone I believe you know.
Does she live?
No.
She does not.
And the child? She kept it.
The child did not survive. I'm very sorry.
It was not mine. But
Oh.
I told her if she chose to keep it, I would take it. I gave her those items so that she could make a new life after I rescued her from some of my brethren.
I'm afraid she did not.
I am saddened to hear that the child is dead. I was hoping that you would have word of him.
We gave him the proper rites according to our faith, and his ashes were returned to the family, or to Costa.
He says, "Take that off. You will draw attention to yourself."
I do take it off.
He says, "All right, I need everybody to make a luck roll, and if somebody critically fails, it's going to get fun."
Seems likely.
Oh, fuck! 31 out of 26.
Is that a critical failure?
No.
I
Failed, but not critical.
Regular fail.
Okay. His one of his ears perks up. I need everybody to make a listen check.
Hard success.
Extreme success.
I fail.
You hear something like coming through the woods.
Something's
And he
coming,
says,
guys.
"It'll be here soon. Do you trust me, Romans?"
Trust you to stay?
To save your lives.
Yes.
Hide yourselves. And he says, "And give me the tiara."
All right, so now I'm doing an insight check to read whether...
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Same.
Fail.
Fail.
You can't tell. You can't tell. He says,
Did you
"Stop."
get... We all
three of
failed?
you failed, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, God.
I had a success on that insight roll.
Oh,
Ah.
he seems sincere.
Give him the stuff.
Well, that's not what he's asking for, is it?
He wants
He
the
said-
tiara.
Give me the tiara and hide yourselves.
Yeah, I don't really want this thing. In fact, I produced the other thing, the second item, which is like an oval.
Okay, he takes both of them and he says, "Hide quickly!" And he starts running with them, putting the tiara on. I need everybody to make a stealth roll.
Fuck. Holy shit, I rolled an 03.
Yes. I got a hard success on stealth.
Wow.
Oh, can we make it a trifecta?
I hope so.
Bill, you're killing me.
I'm gonna burn the luck to make it a success.
Okay.
Oh.
I need everybody to make a sand check.
Okay. Fail.
Fail.
Big time.
Fail.
Okay. Hopefully no one will start screaming with madness and reveal their position. Lumbering out of this beautiful summer forest filled with flowering trees and fruit comes the ugliest, twistedest, most twisted, gnarly tree, walking on 3 hooved legs
Oh, no.
with ropey tentacle branches and a vertical slit slathering, gaping maw of a mouth. It comes lumbering through the forest, passing all of you, unless you go crazy and start screaming. So I gotta. What's this? And yes, a dark young of Shub-Niggurath is just sauntered by.
I have to say, as a gamer, I've never seen one in the wild in a Call of Cthulhu game.
Really?
So, yeah.
This is your first?
Yeah.
Well, they're about as common as cockroaches in Manhattan. Oh my god.
Screaming.
Yeah, I rolled. We all take 10 points of sanity.
10?
I rolled it's 1d10, and I rolled a 10.
Oh my god. Oh, dude.
Okay, all right. Hold on. We're gonna have to roll up. What's the random insanities? Somebody get me that tape. Where is that? What page is that on?
Oh,
I
shit,
don't
I
know
don't know.
what page. It's on the
I thought everybody closed their
Screen.
eyes.
yeah. Didn't I say?
We just hear thumping. I don't know what the problem is.
I looked in the trap, right?
Bouts of madness. 1d10. Is that what I'm looking at? All right, so Bill, roll 1d10 and I will tell you. Everybody roll 1d10 to see what happens to you.
5.
6.
6.
Okay, for those who rolled the 6, are you cheating? Because it is probably the best thing that could have happened.
I
Nope,
did
it's
not
a
cheat.
6.
Whoever rolled a 6, you guys faint for 1d10 minutes.
Oh, the love trap result. That's good. Yeah, play dead.
Who rolled a 5?
That'd be me.
Suspenseful.
Did you fill out your whole character thing with like significant people and all of that?
I think I might have. No, there's nothing on the sheet.
All right, re-roll that one because that one's, you need to know your.
Right. 2.
6. You got a 6.
No, it's a 2.
Okay, you suddenly roll a 1d4.
1.
You lose the ability to see. You literally go blind with terror.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Very eatable.
But going blind with terror and passing out. Do two of you pass out and one of you just goes blind in terror?
Yep.
The Dark Young wanders by. None of those sanities were like fleeing in panic, which was on that list.
Thank
So
God.
it does not detect you and it keeps following the tiara. And
So glad I gave that up.
yeah, if anybody who wears it who's in the forest attracts the Dark Young.
Oh, okay.
This is your fault it even came out.
Pretty
You don't
much.
know that. You don't know that.
All right. After it's gone, you can't see and you don't hear them moving around. What do you do? Chad?
I guess I'll emerge.
Okay.
I want to get the fuck out of here.
You're blind.
How are you going to get out?
Groping on the path. Can I feel the path?
Okay, make a tracking roll.
How many penalty dice?
Yeah.
All of them?
All of really? Like 2?
Yeah, it's a 2 penalty dice for tracking.
Wow. The worst roll was a 20, which is still a...
You made it?
Yeah, it's a hard success.
Okay, you find the trail, and after a few minutes, you hear footsteps coming forward.
Right.
And says, "Hold, old man, hold. All is well. It is gone." And it's the redheaded satyr,
Okay.
Kenner. And he says, "Are you well?" Because he's notices something's wrong.
No, I seem to have lost my sight.
And your companions, are they okay?
I have no idea. I've lost my sight.
Wait here. And he kind of leans you against the tree, and he says, "Don't go wandering around. There are other dryads in these woods."
Dryad, yeah.
And he basically, Kenner comes and slaps both of you guys awake.
Okay.
Fuck. The hell was that?
He says, "You don't want to know. It is the guardian of the temple. It is the guardian of the Black Goat's temple."
Oh.
The temple is here in your lands? And he's rubbing his head.
He says, "I don't speak of it. And neither should you." He says, "You're lucky you aren't being dragged there but now."
Yeah.
He says, "Come, this is a very dangerous forest. Let's get clear of it."
Mm.
And he kind of gets you out of the forest, and he says that I can get you back to the stair, or I can take you to my domicile. It will be safe until morning. Night's coming soon. You'll have to scale the stairs in dark. If you wish to do so, I will take you there now.
The stairs will be dark for me either way.
What has
true.
befallen you?
He is blind with terror.
That
Perhaps
wears
we
off eventually, though, right?
I don't know.
Perhaps we should stay with you tonight and see if his condition clears itself. It would be difficult to get him down the mountain in the dark. Well, I guess it would be dark for him either way. But
Yeah,
Well, then I
exactly.
extend my hospitality.
Hmm.
And,
unless you two oppose such an action,
No.
Okay. Really, I'd like to leave, but I have little power to decide.
Okay, so we can either cut very quickly ahead and finish right now, because I don't know how much further it seems like you guys want out of this valley.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not pressing onto the temple or any of that.
No, thank you.
No.
oh no, I don't think we would do that.
No. Not these guys.
Okay, so basically it's discussed that he is willing to keep a watch on the stair and to relock the door from this side so that the lever that opens the secret door won't work. He said that it had been locked for many years, but he says, but the lock had broken. I can endeavor to fix it so that nobody can wander here accidentally.
I like the sound of that.
But in return for that, I would like some certain consideration from the village.
Well, what's to keep? You say you lock the door from this side. What's to keep one of your brethren from unlocking the door and stealing another young girl from the village?
They're afraid to climb the stair.
Then did Malipa mistakenly find the door herself?
I believe that she did.
Unfortunate stroke of luck.
At first glance, the valley is quite beautiful. It has lured many people here.
Okay, what would you require of the village?
He says, there are things that I cannot make myself, things that I would trade for. There are many riches to be found here. I would like to come and trade upon occasion. Perhaps if there was a merchant I could see and meet with in private once a year. I am not like my brethren. My mother raised me and was very firm with me, and I learned to control many of my instincts. I am happy to be the protector, but there are things that I crave of the human world.
Like what?
He says, we're not much for cheese making and leather, steel items, decent wine.
So these are not things we could just deliver to you and have have this be done instead of
Oh,
passing?
I would be willing to trade, but if someone would deliver them to me, then I think that would be fine. I could make a list and collect it on the first day of autumn yearly, and for that I would make sure that this door stays closed. My people stay on this side of the doorway, and your people aren't able to get in.
I bet Matthias would take care of that for us.
Is he still alive?
He is indeed.
My
Do you
mother-
know of him?
My mother spoke of him.
He claims to be hundreds of years old.
Oh, it's the Matthias I'm thinking of must be surely dead. Perhaps it is a family name. He was a
Ask him
boy.
yourself.
Well then, hopefully in morning your eyesight will return and I can get you back to the path. He says, but we are safe here. My brethren will not approach my cabin. I'm an outcast. I'm not very welcome among them, but I am not their enemy, and they fear me because I'm a crack shot with a sling. So, why don't we sit in the garden, have a smoke? I'll play a few songs. We can trade a few stories, and the valley is not without its charm, so long as you know where to walk.
I'm not so interested in charms. Also, does the blindness go away?
Yes, the blindness goes away about midnight.
All right.
So
Nice.
Lucian,
The four of you spend most of the evening eating stew, drinking fruit wine, like fermented. He goes, we don't have the grapes here are weird, but there's lots of fruit. So you're drinking like wine coolers around a fire, and he's playing music and trading songs. And actually, he's an excellent musician, of course.
before Lucius eats, when he whatever point brings out the food and puts it all down, he looks at the other two and then he looks back at Kenner and he's like, is it safe to eat the food from here? I mean, not that you would poison us, but
No, it's perfectly safe. He said it's other humans have eaten the food and left fine. It's not. He said we're technically in the same world.
okay. And he kind of digs the fork through it a little bit like a kid that doesn't want to eat, and then he's like, fuck it, it's free food. Like, it's been a long day.
Right. So he's actually starved for conversation because he does, his own people aren't much for conversation.
Right.
And he seems pretty genuine. He's just almost like a lonely hermit.
Lucius would just try to engage him about his history, about his mother, what he knows about the village.
He said he used to spend a lot of time on the other side of the door, watching the village. So he knows a lot about the village, but he hasn't really closely watched the village in over 100 years.
Okay. Lucius would ask, if you lock the door, are you under any threat from your brethren? Oh, you said they can't leave anyway.
They're too afraid of the stairs, but they'll be upset if they find out that no more women will be wandering in because of me.
Will you be safe yourself then?
They're afraid of me.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
I'm not afraid that, I wouldn't get into a fight now and again, but I did save 2 of them today, and they won't forget that.
Our apologies.
No, you were fighting for your lives. I blame you not. I've wanted to kill each one of those 2 myself more than once. Think of them as the rowdy cousins that we all have and aren't too proud of, but I suppose they're still family.
Fair enough.
So I hope that when you go back to your world, back to your homes, you won't mention this place.
No.
Indeed not.
We really don't. I don't want. It brought me no joy to lure those men to their death.
I fear that was the only outcome that their presence here could have afforded.
I chose the Dryad and not the Guardian. I didn't want them to suffer. They died happy, I suppose.
A little
All any of
wistful
us-
flashback.
As nearly you did, because he says, judging by the honey on your boot, on your sandals.
Yeah.
He says, you're lucky. Very, very few can resist the call of the Dryads.
Yes, I don't feel very lucky at the moment, but we did survive. I hope you understand what we really would like is for the door to close forever, and it's a great leap of trust to suppose that anyone would guard and make sure that nothing passes between these doors. It would cause either side problems.
To be honest, I do hope one day to meet someone to be my bride. So I would not like to trap myself here. But unlike my brothers, I would not drag her away needlessly. So I think to strand myself here would be more than I'm willing to do. You ask far too much. I did free and return the woman who wandered in here and gave her a small fortune to make a life for herself. I think I've proven I'm a friend.
Are there no women here?
No, there are no women among the satyrs. There have been women from time to time, and some have even stayed for many years, but seldom willingly at first. The others, they're not. Their minds are very primal. They're almost animals. Because my mind is the same as theirs. I have just had a stern mother teach me to control it. But it is even hard for me at times. I suppose that's why I'm so starved for conversation.
You wish us not to inform the outside world of your presence here, and yet you wish to trade with the outside world. It's an inconvenience that is hard to overlook on our part to be able to travel with such goods to leave here for you. It would be very hard to explain where trade, wagons would be going to leave, copious amounts of trade.
Well, no, I wouldn't need wagons, just a backpack of items, a chance to travel to and fro. I have traveled through the mountains several times.
Okay. Puts a little bit of a different spin on it then.
We just have Matthias bring a backpack up once or twice a year. Goes back with whatever payment.
I will pay for it. I mean, there's more gold in the temple than there's quite a bit of gold in the temple.
He seems amenable to dealing if there's gold involved.
Well, good then.
Mm-hmm.
Come morning, I will take you back up.
Seems we have an accord.
Yep.
It seems that we do. And with that, that allows you to sleep. You guys sleep incredibly soundly.
All those wine coolers.
Probably because of the wine coolers. And the next morning, he leads you to the stairs, travels up with you, and then locks it from the other side. And he says, I will unlock this door in 6 months' time. On the first day of autumn. And if your friend is here, I will speak with him. I will pay for his goods, trade some stories, and resume my duties as guardian.
Okay.
Works for us.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we will say that this scenario is done,
Yeah.
unless you want to go round 3, because I know what I could do very easily.
Well,
No, I'm
yeah.
Okay, we'll stop it here.
So Lucius would say to Salvius that
He does suggest it. Yeah.
this is the Pyrrhic victory that you spoke of earlier.
I tire so much of Pyrrhic victory after Pyrrhic victory after Pyrrhic victory.
Okay, when you guys get out of the cave, the last beast hunter has been tied to a tree and skinned alive.
Oh, there was another one.
Make a sanity check.
Ah, for fuck's sake.
fail.
99.
Fail.
That's a 99. I don't know what that does.
Okay, that's going to be
Bad.
3 points.
Mm.
Do you wish to examine the area?
Yeah, I mean, I failed, but I think it probably wouldn't be like I guess it's fairly horrific, but being a soldier,
You've seen people captured and tortured.
Yeah.
Now this
Okay.
is on the earth side, like
Yeah.
like out of the cave.
Right,
It's
like
that
right,
last dude
right
that was,
outside of where he was guarding.
Well, that sucks, because that means, yeah, that sucks, because that means this door, I mean, is
We don't know a satyr did this.
that's why we're going to investigate the area.
okay.
Make
Yeah.
a tracking roll.
Nope.
Failed.
Hard success.
Nice.
It looks like there were a group of 4 women who did this to him.
And we can tell by like weight of the footprint, size,
By
shape,
the weight and the shape of the shoe and the weight of the footprints.
and the fact that they castrated him.
Wow.
Among other things, yeah.
Wow.
There are candle nubs here.
Oh.
There is you see that there's like spilled wine, and figures were drawn in his blood all around the tree.
Oh, shit. Oh no.
What do you other than the obvious? What do you see?
Oh, I point out. He sees. I
mean,
point
we see
all of that.
generally.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems that it was all women, and it seems there's clearly some ritual here.
Women from the village, do you think?
It's possible. It's possible that they're protecting this place and the gate. You know, it's possible that this has been going on for a long time. It's possible that these trysts between the valley and this world are not such an anomaly.
But you'd think that Kenner perhaps would have mentioned that.
Well, he says they do drag women sometimes, right?
That has happened.
So yeah, not trysts. This is revenge for horrific acts.
Well, since you guys are wanting to end the scenario here, this will have to be an unsolved mystery for another time.
Okay.
But this was going to be the secondary
Yeah.
wild card for the adventure.
Right.
Okay.
When you get back to the village, you find out a group of priestesses from the Church of Magna Mater had traveled through here a couple, a day or two ago. By the way, you guys have actually been gone for a week.
Well, it is Narnia. That's awesome. And I do want to we don't have to role play it, but I want to connect with Matthias and have him do the drop off, right?
Right.
We can ask him. Yeah, I mean, we tell him that
he was absolutely fascinated to meet this satyr named Kenner. So he said, "I'm not missing that for the world."
A large part of me would like Act 3 to be figuring out how to kill red hair satyr and seal the gate for good.
Well, that would be an option. I think you should be more worried about the Shub-Niggurath priestesses who are trying to find the valley.
Yeah.
But we're going to end it here. I'm going to award a sand bonus of 1d6 for your encounters with the satyrs, 2 points. 1d6 for your encounter with the dryads, 4 points. No sand bonus for your encounter with the dark young, because
No.
you chose life other than valor. Not that 2 strapping young lads and an old man with a knife didn't have a fighting chance against the dark young.
Yeah.
But,
I'm actually not that young. I'm 45.
Okay.
Oh.
I thought, well, yeah.
There.
All right. So that is the Wayward Shepherdess.
Very
Sweet.
nice.
Very good.
Wow.
You weren't expecting dryads, huh?
No.
No.
Well, where you have fawns, you have tree nymphs.
Indeed.
Mhm.
Couldn't have one without the other. And I thought it was a nice way to deal with the threat of the hunters.
Mhm.
And
Definitely.
possibly you.
Yeah.
Because God knows if all 3 of you had failed, it would have been ugly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you could
Yeah.
always had Kenner come out and put a stop to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can roll whatever skills you successfully checked. I'm going to say that you get a bonus point of Cthulhu Mythos for your evening with Kenner,
Cool.
trading stories in Narnia.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, actually. The Mythos version of Narnia.
hmm
All right.
I am disappointed nobody said, "Hey, let's go to the ancient Hyperborean Shub-Niggurath temple."
Screw that.
We might
Wrong.
back around that way.
Yeah, wrong party.
Matter cult.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was going to do the whole subplot with the priestesses, saying, "Well, if somebody found a baby satyr, it's quite likely there." See, if you'd have gone there, you'd have learned the connection between Shub-Niggurath and the satyrs.
That's true. I guess we could have asked them that. Shit.
Yeah.
I think Chad knows because he helped me He helped me kind of with a lot of the monster concepts.
Yeah. I know. I had a moment when I realized what was. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I'm so glad that you put that freaking headpiece on. I'm like, oh great, I get to use the Dark Young.
Oh, it really did summon. Oh, man.
Yeah, it attracts the Dark Young as soon as it's usually worn by the High Priestess of Shub-Niggurath.
Right.
So he's like, oh, mommy's home. And he's like, and it came looking like, he goes, you put that on? He was like,
Oh, no.
he goes, oh, we're all going to die. I think that went well. I think the fight with the satyrs was pretty funny.
Mhm.
You intimidating them. And they were like, what the hell?
It's like when you see the cat chase the bear out of somebody's backyard.
Right.
or the French bulldog chasing the bears away.
Mhm.
Like, really, guys? Really? All right, man. It's late, everyone. later than I thought. So I will speak to you guys soon. Thank you guys for signing up for this. It was a blast.
It was a ton of fun. Thanks for running.
Yeah.
Yep, thanks for having us.
You guys lost more sand than you gained.
That's for sure.
By a lot. Yeah.
Wow. And no, this is not your first Mythos Insanity, but
No.
And Chad, I'm honored to have thrown your first Dark Young at you.
Yeah. It's just weird.
It's amazing that you haven't run into one yet.
I know. Lots of Migo, lots of other things, but Dark.
Have you encountered deep ones?
Oh yeah, I have actually.
Okay,
yeah.
That's like the next most common. Ghouls.
Right. Yeah, and I've had ghouls. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now you got all the big ones, I guess.
Paper Chase was my first one. So. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's ghouls in that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Good night.
Good night.
All right.
Thanks
Take
a
it
lot.
easy. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm out of here. You gonna do a wrap up or something?
Yeah, I'll wrap real quick. Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm out of here. Take it easy.
All right, cool. Yep. Later.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for checking this out. Thanks, Max. See you in the chat there. If you guys like this, if you enjoy the content we have coming on, check, hit the like and the subscribe on all the things. We're on most of the social media platforms. Share us on your social media. We've got coffee for sale, tinyurl.com/legendary brew. If you want to check that out, we appreciate everybody, coming in and hanging out, checking everything out. And we hope that you are enjoying it. And we'll catch you next time.